What's up guys, and welcome to Drive to Thrive. It's been a couple of weeks since I put out any kind of a video. Now my work's been going crazy here, so not as much free time to put out this content, but that is no excuse. In this video here, I want to talk about three sectors that are doing really good compared to the rest of the market here. So as you guys know, there is lots of tension going on in the world here, especially with the Ukraine and Russian crisis. We got inflation worries, we got rising interest rates here on the horizon. There's just lots of uncertainty, and seems like the tech sector has been taking the brunt force of this craziness. So what I've been doing here over the last couple of weeks and months is kind of starting to rotate out of the tech and look for those value stocks. Now specifically looking at the energy sector, the mining sector, and the uranium sector. So that's what I'll be talking about today, because these stocks seem to be doing really well here over the last month, especially with all this prices and all this escalation going on around the world. So let me dive into these. Now, if you would like me to talk about any specific stock or maybe make a dedicated video to those stocks in the future, let me know in the comments below. But otherwise, let's go over to my computer. Okay, let's start off with this oil chart right here. So since about that pandemic low here, when we had oil hit a negative, which doesn't even get reflected on this chart here, we have this massive run up here where we're currently sitting at about $115 as of today, which is March 6th. So just the past week here, we have this massive green candle of about 19.93%, so 20% rise in oil price here. Now, what I'm expecting here in the near future is probably we're gonna hit that $150 resistance, and some analysts out there are predicting that oil could even go as high as $180 to $200 a barrel, which would be astronomically high. So as you can see, crazy parabolic move here, but overall I think maybe we're starting to top out on oil, because like I highlighted, that $150 is what I'm expecting there to be a strong resistance, which leads me to believe that maybe there isn't as much upside for this oil and gas stocks, and that's why I've been selling out the majority of them. But there is one that I've been holding on to because I think this one has the best potential here to make some nice returns, anywhere between 25 to 50% by the end of the year, and that stock is TC Energy. So let's go over to TC Energy and let me give you the thesis why I think the stock is going to do good. So compared to any other companies out there, like for example, if I show you a chart of Nutrien, you see this crazy overextension to the upside. If we zoom out and we look at the MACD, overextension right here. If I go over to something like Canadian Natural Resources, again, all-time highs here, straight up, overextension on the MACD here. But if we take a look at TC Energy, we see that actually we're still within a reasonable levels here on our MACD. Our stochastic still has room to go up into that overbought territory, and we haven't even actually broken our previous highs from 2020 or even 2014. So as we all know, there is a global crunch for oil right now, and the price is going higher and higher. Now, even the Democrats are starting to agree that maybe they need to do something, possibly even finish off the phase 4 of the Keystone XL pipeline, which is owned by TC Energy. So that is why I think TC Energy has a really good chance here of going higher and actually returning some nice profits here in the near future compared to the rest of the companies. So TC Energy actually does pay a dividend, which is another bonus. So they pay about 5%, and you can trade it both on the US stock exchange or on the Canadian stock exchange. So that is my only single play in the oil and gas sector right now. Then my second commodity that I'm more invested in is the mining sector, specifically the gold and silver sector here. So again, looking at our monthly chart here of gold, we can see that we are starting to kind of form this second leg higher right here. So if I look back into the past here, and I love to kind of see what happened in the past to kind of predict what can happen in the future, we see that since about that 2003, we have this massive bull run here, then a little bit of a consolidation here in 2018, which is the whole financial crisis, and then we had the second leg higher that got us all the way up to $1,900 here in 2011. Then after that, we had this consolidation correction, not much happened till about 2019. We started on this another bull run here and consolidating here. So what I'm thinking is this time period where we are currently in kind of is this time period right here, and we still have this whole other leg higher ahead of us in the next few years here, and that's why I've been positioning my portfolio in these mining stocks. Now these guys also have incredible balance sheets, lots of cash flow, so gold miners are a really good way to kind of invest here for the next couple of years, and they also pay dividends. So my favorite stock is Barrick Gold. Now I've brought up Barrick Gold on this channel before. I was kind of showing you guys this chart right here. I was saying that this is a great opportunity, especially once we were down around that $18 to $19 to start loading up, and sure enough we started rotating off of those lows here, and we're starting to break about the 200-day moving average. If I zoom in a little bit more, you see nice overextension here past the 200-day moving average, possibly a pullback here in the next few weeks, but I wouldn't be surprised if this thing just keeps on running here. So Barrick Gold also does pay dividends. Now these guys pay about 1.65%, so not as much as TC Energy, but I think they have a higher possibility here of doubling. So even if we just hit around that $35, which I think is going to be our nearest near-term target here, we're looking at about gains from current price level of around 45%, and if gold really takes off and we see it maybe go up to $3,000 to $4,000 per ounce, we can easily see this company go as high as $52, $53, which would be a 120% return plus the dividends, right? So this is why I'm a huge investor in Barrick Gold, and I've been investing in these guys for the last year and just kind of acquiring more and more shares. So that is Barrick Gold, and my final stock that I want to talk about is Uranium Royalty Corp. Now, so with Uranium, there is a bullish kind of sentiment going on around. So since Fukushima, nuclear energy has fallen out of favor because of people realize that there is these risks that have a catastrophic implication on the environment. So I think a lot of people just started going away from nuclear and looking for alternative energy like solar, wind power, and natural gas. But as time goes on, we're starting to realize that solar and wind power energy alone will not sustain the 8 billion people we have in the world right now, and we need nuclear energy. Also, with all this carbon goals and everything, zero emissions on the horizon here, nuclear is only true way to kind of meet these goals. So you're starting to see a lot of these countries, especially China, they're planning to build something like 100 plus reactors here in the next 20 to 30 years. We're starting to see Japan, one of the, I think, second largest consumer of nuclear energy, to bring more of their plants online. And biggest kind of haters of nuclear, which is Germany, is also starting to see that maybe nuclear is a way to go, especially since they've been shutting down a lot of these power plants here, and they've been really dependent on the Russian natural gas and oil. Well, we all know what just happened with the Nord Stream 2 pipeline that got scrapped, and Germany is about to go through some crazy energy crisis here, so they're possibly thinking about extending the life of their remaining 3 reactors in that country. So overall, I think there's lots of things lining up for uranium here, and that is a major reason why I've been loading up on companies like Uranium Royalty Corp. Now, this isn't the only company I'm invested in. There are a few other ones, but just for this video, I'll go over Uranium Royalty. So on Friday, we had this massive pullback here once we heard that there is fighting going on around that Zaporizhzhia nuclear plant here in Ukraine. I think lots of people got shaken out by this, thinking that this could be another natural disaster. Now, we found out that things weren't as serious as the media portrayed them to be, but nonetheless, this was a great buy the dip opportunity. Now we are currently still sitting about that 200-day moving average. We're forming higher lows than the previous low, so that is good to see. And like I said, we have lots of momentum in the uranium sector here. Now, if I go over to our weekly chart, we're starting to see that we have this bullish divergence right here on the MACD, where we are forming lower lows, but in reality, we had higher lows on the chart itself. So that is a bullish signal. Also, we can see that on our stochastic here, we're rotating off of the oversold territory, moving into this overbought, but still some room above us. And if I go over to our monthly, then and you can see there is lots of room for this thing to run up higher. So that is a major reason why uranium right now is taking up probably close to 25% of my portfolio. That is it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down, but let me know what I can do in the future to make things better. Now, I hope you have an awesome week, and if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to check out my Lightspeed video, because that is where I talk about my next giveaway. But thank you so much for now, and see you next time.